vacation bird. But this is the bird that everybody seems to love the most.
It's so cute.
This is Mortimer. Mortimer's called a saw-whet owl. Saw-whets are the smallest owls in the Northeast, the third smallest owl in North America. He's no baby. He's fully grown. He's fully grown. Here, give me your hand. Out here.
Oh, jeez.
Here, that's okay. He'll step up on you.
It's so cute.
Yes. They're the smallest, the third smallest owl in North America. He's fully grown. He's no baby. He weighs 3 ounces. He has an 18 to 20 inch wingspan and an absolutely huge head for his size. Look at the size of his head and
I was
compared to his
just
body.
thinking that. He looks like a penguin.
Yeah, he does. He looks more like a cartoon character than a real owl. Most owls have yellow eyes. They perch with 2 toes forward, 2 toes behind them. And most owls of the world have feathers on their toes and feet. He's getting a better grip on you. They don't, just stay still. He'll come right back up. They have scaly, whereas hawks and falcons have scaly reptilian-looking feet. Owls have these feathers feet, perched with 2 toes forward, 2 toes behind them. Mortimer was hit by a car. This is a 3-ounce bird surviving the impact of a 3,000-pound plus machine.
That's amazing.
He blinded himself in his left eye, which looks perfect, but it's not. If you take a close-up flash picture of him or shine a light, the right pupil responds to the light, and the left pupil remains fixed. Now, whenever we get a head injury, we'll do an eye exam, and the first thing we will do is shine a light. If the pupils don't react normally, then we look for other stuff. So you look inside the eye, you look for blood, scar tissue, cloudiness, leakage between the chambers, damage to the interior structures. And then finally, you take him out and you put him in a flight enclosure and you observe him flying. If he's only flying in one direction, there's a pretty good chance he's only seeing out of one eye. But the most remarkable part of Mortimer, are you comfortable with him? So,
oh, yes.
Okay, good. The most remarkable thing about Mortimer's story is a man who found him, a man driving down a dark, deserted country road, middle of nowhere, 4:30 in the morning, January, snow on the ground. He thinks he sees this movement roadside, so he slows his car down. As he approaches, he definitely gets closer to her and sees that something's going on, so he stops and he gets out, and sure enough, he finds Mortimer floundering around the roadside snow. Scoops him up, takes him home.
Good Samaritan.
Yep, he was. A few hours later, a local museum opened. It was called the Museum of the Hudson Highlands in Cornwall, New York. And he remembered that they had screech owls on exhibit, which are also small owls, a little bit larger than a saw-whet. He thought maybe the museum staff could help. They called us. We came to assess Mortimer, and Mortimer was in shock. And shock is a big deal. Shock can kill you. So we had to take them out of shock. You make sure they're warm. You inject fluids into their bloodstream to raise their blood volume and their pressure. And then finally, you may choose to inject a corticosteroid, which could reduce any swelling in the brain or the brainstem or the spinal cord. And once you do all that stuff, usually they come out of shock. Once they're out of shock, then you can deal with other trauma. But he had none. It was just the eye. The eye was wait and see.
He's a very lucky owl.
He is. It's been 6 years. He can't stay out of that eye. He probably never will. But because of one man's unselfish act, about 200,000 people have seen Mortimer at public programs over the past 6 years, this close. People who may never have been close to a saw-whet any before and may never ever get close to one again. So they're really very special little birds. And he's very lucky. Had nobody stopped, he probably would have died in about 3 or 4 hours of hypothermia. Because if you're in shock, you can't regulate your body temperature.
Okay.
And you also notice that when he's flapping his wings, you can hardly hear anything because owls have almost completely silent flight.
That's very
most
true.
of the time. And you probably felt how soft he was as well.
He was very soft. Oh, let me just go around you.
Okay, I can reach you.
Okay.
And last but not least,
Oh, God.
she won't hurt you.
Okay.
She's a little bit bigger than the saw-whet.
Oh, what a, oh my.
And there goes my mic.
I'll pick it up.
It's okay, we'll pick you up off the corners.
Okay.
Okay. This is Julia. Julia's called a golden eagle, and she's called a golden eagle because of the feathers on top of and behind her head, which are called hackles up here. And they do glow gold and copper color in the sun. It's like this beautiful shimmer. Starts there, ends there. Julia gets upset. She takes these hackles, she sticks them straight up into the air, just like that. If you've ever heard the expression, don't get your hackles up, it started 400 years ago in England during Shakespeare's time when people used to fly hawks and falcons a lot. Goldens are among the largest eagles in the world. They are really huge, really powerful. In the United States, they live out west, but in Canada, they also live in the east. So you're not going to find golden eagles in New Jersey because they don't nest here, but they pass through here on migration, usually starting right about now, this time of the year. So the Canada goldens fly south, and you can usually spot golden eagles on migration in November especially, and then they might overwinter here for a while, but eventually they will all go north again. But what you should notice, a couple things about her. Her feet are huge. Their talons are huge. Their back talon gets to be about 2.5 inches long, which is twice the length of a bald eagle's back talon. And they can grip at about 1,000 pounds per square inch.
She's a beautiful bird.
She's magnificent.
Yeah, she's marvelous.
She really is
her feathers are
spectacular.
So amazing.
She keeps herself in pristine condition. Not all birds do, by the way. You'll get some birds that are just, I mean, she's going to preen herself right now. But there's some birds that just let their feathers get all, nasty and everything else. But most birds keep themselves in pretty tip-top shape, and she does.
She has that look on her face. Unlike the other bird, she has that look in her eyes.
They have a very, very distinct, it's called a supraorbital ridge or a brow ridge. And it shades the eye, and it also protects the eye as well. And but it gives raptors that special look. So the peregrines, it's not quite as distinct. The falcons aren't quite as distinct. So whereas they look a little bit sweeter, she just looks pretty royal. She's got that look about her.
Yes.
She was hit by a car. She broke her left leg, which healed perfectly, but a massive head injury blinded her in her right eye. So the left eye facing you is the eye that she sees out of, and it's that beautiful amber color that goldens have. But if I rotate her around, you can see her right eye.
It's not golden.
Yeah, nope, it's quite a bit darker, and the orbit is slightly lower. She's feathered all the way down to the tops of her toes. Most birds are feathered to the ankle, so she's called a booted eagle for that reason. And she shares that characteristic with 29 of the 50 species of eagles, she's 30 of the 49 species of eagles that exist in the world today are booted eagles. She actually has a 7-foot wingspan. I mean, you wouldn't.
I can tell.
Yeah.
huge.
Birds of prey in captivity on your fist, they seldom do more than this, but in a full soar, it's about 7 feet from tip to tip. She can dive at about 150 miles an hour. So
it's amazing.
If you've ever stood on the side of the road and watched a car barrel down the highway at 55 miles an hour or so, triple that, and that's how fast these
I was
guys
thinking
can
that.
go.
I was comparing it to the speed of cars, and I was like,
Yep.
wow, I can't even imagine.
It is. They're pretty amazing. And so they're among the most powerful eagles in the world. Wide open country eagles. And our bald eagle is a fishing eagle, and there are 12 species of those throughout the world. But she's a booted, and she's just a real sweetheart. I'm very, very lucky to have this particular bird. And she's an excellent education bird as well. She's very calm. She's not freaked out by people or TV studios or anything
I can
like
tell
this.
she's very free with herself.
Yeah, she really is a very sweet bird.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
I won't ask you to hold this.
I would hope not.